Welcome to Raising My Queen, a podcast inspired by my daughter, Denisha Williams, aka CEO Sample. It's a podcast that inspires and empowers young females and males trying to navigate this thing called life without a father or father figure. In this podcast, I will share stories and life lessons of successes and failures as I shared with my daughter as I was raising my queen. Hello and welcome to Raising My Queen, a podcast inspired by my daughter, Denisha Williams, aka CEO Sample. This is episode 2. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in to episode 1 and all your positive feedback that you gave me. It was very encouraging. And so today, I'm going to start off by reading a Facebook post that my daughter posted on my birthday of 2012. And it reads, "Happy birthday, Daddy, Dennis Sample. Thank God for you. If it wasn't for you, I don't know where I would be. You are my protector, my teacher, my advisor. There's no word to describe how important you are to me. Glad that we came to an agreement that I will go before you because I don't know what I would do without you. We got to get that notarized. Thank you for investing in me your time, energy, love, wisdom, money, most importantly, your money. Anybody that knows me knows you that dude to me, and I admire you, and I hope one day I'm blessed enough to meet a man like you, just taller and more handsome." Laugh out loud. Enjoy your day. Oh, and your granddaughter said you're the funniest guy she knows, and you're her favorite too. And now I'd like to explain to you the story behind the post. In episode 1, I explained to you that my daughter had lupus, and that once she found out that she had such an aggressive form of lupus that they took aggressive measures, and that the medication that they gave her took a chance of killing her as well as killing her ovaries, so she'd never be able to bear children. And so we were riding in the car one day, and Nisha says to me, she says, "Dad, you know, had I died in the hospital, I'd have been okay with it." She said, "Because I got a chance to marry the person that I love, and I got a chance to be a part of a family that loved me, and I love them." And so I said, "Okay, that's a good way of looking at it." I said, "Because I don't know." I said, "I'd have been crying like, God, I ain't ready to go yet. Let me stay around a little longer. I got some people still owe me some money. Let me collect my money first." I came up with something. And so then she stopped. We laughed about that one. Then she said to me, she said, "Dad," she said, "I hope I die before you." She said, "Because I love you so much that I don't think being on earth would be any fun without you." And I looked over at my daughter and I said, "Go for it, girl. You can have first dibs on it. You can go first, all right?" And then we both laughed. About a year later, she was pregnant with my granddaughter Nyla. And Nisha was telling me one time, she was saying, "Hey, Dad, you just don't get it, do you?" "No, you don't get what?" And she said, "Well, everything that I've done, I did to please you. And when my husband and I found out that I might be dying at a young age and I couldn't have kids, that we prayed to God and asked him for a little girl that looked like me and that could be there for you whenever you're down and out." And so that's what he did. He delivered and gave Nala. And so now, back then I had to learn how to play house and little girl games, not little girl games, but, I had to learn how to entertain my granddaughter. And so basically, this is what I came up with. Sometimes being a granddad, you got to do some crazy stuff like spend time with your granddaughter.
Got you guys a president.
You got us a president?
Uh-huh.
What kind of president you get us?
A daughter one.
You threw it away.
No, it's a daughter one. Here.
Oh, what?
No.
What's your dog name?
I already said that already ago. You remember?
No, what your dog name is?
Fafa.
Who? Spell that.
Buff. Ball.
You like that, huh? Yeah, so how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So this is going to be, in a couple of days, 6 years?
6 years, yeah.
Yeah, wow, 6 years. And I'm going to sound like yesterday, really.
It does.
Sound like yesterday. I know that over the course of time, I've learned so much. I didn't realize how much I learned from, just having conversations and dealing with your mom, how sometimes people in life teach you different things, especially like being my daughter. It's different, but it's like how I impacted her life and how she impacted mine. What were some of the ways that she impacted yours?
A really big way that she impacted my life was teaching me how to treat other people, I guess, and being open-minded and being a good friend to the people around me.
Okay. Yeah, and what was that? She taught you how, your mom will teach you how to beat up people?
Well, yeah, that was a previous thing. But at the same time, there was this one time where my friend had a crush on someone and she told me not to tell people, but then I started telling people and I told my mom about it and she got mad at me and told me that I shouldn't do that because that person trusted me and told me that information and I shouldn't go back on that trust by telling other people. And it was a really big thing to her. So I guess that was a really big lesson that she taught me was respect people's trust and don't go back on it.
Okay. Your name, Nyla, is supposed to be African for God is with us. Yeah. That's what your mom told me anyway.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. When I looked it up, it said successful.
Oh, okay.
But she always told me that it meant loved.
Oh, okay. That's what she said?
Yeah.
Your mom might have been on those things, though. You got to look see if she wrote that little book or something like hey, what's going on? Who wrote this right here, Yeah. So what are some of your inspirations in life? What do you want to do?
I don't really know. I want to make things, I guess, and I want to help people, specifically kids, but people in general.
Help them in what way?
Mentally, I guess. I want to be a therapist and I want to help people work through their mind because it's really complicated and it's really interesting in general, but I want to be able to help people and find ways to cope through their lives. Okay.
Do you feel that some of the things that you went through kind of helped you to have a desire to want to get in that field?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I know in the Black community, a lot of times people don't feel that they should get counseling or how important it is to get counseling, And I know back when your mom had passed, I went and got counseling. We got you counseling as well, and I think that helped us both out a whole lot. To deal with the situation and to make it through a lot of the tough grieving processes that people go through. And then also when you get situations like family situations like divorces, separations, and just so many things that happens not just in the Black community, but all over. But a lot of time in the Black community, we don't address these things and we don't go seek out help and things for those. I was talking with your uncle today, and we were having a conversation about moving. Yeah. And basically, we were talking about your other uncle, Dennis, and him being in North Carolina so long. We said, you ought to come up this area where there's more opportunities. And I was saying, well, he's not going to move right now because his son is in his junior year. And it's kind of important that he stay put so that his son can at least till he finished school, because a lot of times, kids find it hard adjusting when you move a lot like that, because it's one of those situations where a lot of times people have their little cliques or their little groups, and when you come in the middle of the school year or whatever, you got to find new friends. You got to find out where you fit in at. What's your opinion on that one? because I know that
Yeah.
you know you being in your dad being in the military, you know, your stepmom in the military, and sometimes when you get orders, you have to move about. And I know you're in your junior year now, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, basically, let's talk about that for a minute.
Well, for me, because when I first moved to California, we were there for like 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 years. And then me and my dad moved to Texas for the beginning of my high school. And they told me that we were going to stay in Texas and I was going to be there for the rest of my high school career and I'd get to graduate from there. And I was like, okay. So I was there, and then like by the time we got to the second semester, my dad told me that we were moving again back to California after I had gotten settled there and had moved on from California. Now I was going to be moving back after I had already started my first year of high school in Texas. So then I had to move from Texas to California and start over at school there. Luckily, I was going to school with all of my friends from middle school, and I still had those relationships. But like going from California to Texas, it was really hard because I was in a new state and I didn't know anyone there. And it's a completely different environment than I was used to. And then coming back to California, and then at the beginning of this year being told that we were moving to Minnesota and I would have to go to another high school for the third time, I was like, I can't do that. So we found a way for me to be able to stay in California, because the idea of me having to go to 3 different high schools within 3 years is just really damaging, I guess. Like, I did not want to go, and I was really distraught over it.
Yeah. I know Rob's point of view perspective was that a lot of times when you get like that, then you learn how to adapt.
Yeah.
And things, you know, with some people who just, they grow up in that same community and they never get out. I remember when I was in the Marine Corps, and I took it for granted that where I go, that's where the family go, because I was being a provider and I was taking care of everybody. So I didn't really consider everybody's feelings as much as I realized I should have. Now that I'm older and mature and gotten away from that, looking back, if I was to talk to somebody who was going through the same thing, I would tell them, hey, you know, listen, you might want to consider your family, consider your kids, you know, when they're at certain ages and they're making friends and they're in certain social networks and stuff like that, before you make a move, how it's going to affect the family as a whole, because that's how you have to move. You can't just say, okay, you know what, this is the one I am. I'm providing food, putting food on the table. You be happy, shut your mouth. Nah, that's not a good look, you know. So try to do things that's going to benefit your family. What are some of your favorite attributes that you think your mom might have left behind for you? I know one point you were telling me, the work ethics.
Yeah, work ethic. Like on the back of her necklace that she always wore, it says like, I can accept failing, but I can't accept not trying. I think something to that degree.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, she's just a really hard worker, and it's really interesting to see everything that she accomplished by the age of 33, because that is really young. And like her having her own business, and I don't know, just her life by that age, she was really successful in a way that not a lot of people get to be. And she worked really hard to get there. Yeah, I know. It's funny because sometimes you never know what a person is going through or what a person is doing, and or what they're achieving. And so, just from talking to some of her friends, and it was, like one in particular was saying, how that Nisha had gave them money to put down on the house and gave her a job and taught her, the job. And, I had other friends said that she had taken them, to their first, concert and different things, a lot of different things. Like your dad was saying, she bought him his first watch, and just taught him different things. It's just, I think it's really impactful that, like you said, within that short amount of time, or different things that she had did, and things like that. So, but I think like she always said, you're one of her biggest achievements. So that should make you feel good and want to, get out there and give life, you're all, so when you get in the moments where maybe things get difficult and you feel like, I want to go to town. I don't know if I want to go to mile with this one. Maybe that gives you that extra little push to sit down and say, you know what? Nah, my mom looking down at me. I got to keep it moving, I got to keep it moving. I know there were a lot of times that
things was going on, because she had called me up one time and said, Dad, I never really called you up and told you, what was going on with me, because I didn't want you to worry. But, you was kind of like taking some of that burden on, because I guess a lot of times you might have seen her in conditions that, was kind of stressful for a young child to see the mom.
Yeah. I also feel like I was kind of used to it. Like it was just kind of a normalcy for me, and I was used to seeing her like that. And so like I knew what was going on whenever I saw her in certain states, like when her feet were swollen and it was hard for her to walk. Like I knew what was going on. I don't know.
How did that make you feel?
I mean, I don't know. I kind of like tuned a lot of it out. Like it just became really normal for me, and I kind of brushed it off. Except for because there were times where she would get sick. Like when we were living with her cousins and they were staying with us when we were in Georgia. When we were there, because she had her daughters and they got sick. And my mom was also sick at the time, and she couldn't get sick from them because it would make it worse.
Yes, that can be difficult. And like I say, you were young during that time frame too.
I was like 9.
Yeah, that's still young. That's young.
I don't know. To me, it feels older because it in my head, it feels so recent. And I'm realizing that was 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's tough to see, somebody that young and for the normalcy to see your mom in pain, or, to going through something, and for that to be like a norm that you just get used to, that's difficult. At some points I used to get on her, you're being too hard on her, you're pushing it too hard. And her thing was, no, Dad, I have to be that way because I'm not going to be around her all life, And looking back on it, I said, "Wow, that was smart. You seen something that I didn't see." But I guess maybe she just had that intuition, that hey, it's not gonna be long for me or whatever,
Yeah.
And so basically, she wanted to make sure that you were strong and you can handle things. You're doing good. You're doing good. I appreciate it. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Nisha was the only girl for a minute. And then all the boys turned around and had boys. And then Nisha had the only girl. And so, now you got all these other girls popping up now, huh?
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking about it at Thanksgiving yesterday. And I was like, if she was here, she would have said that they were copying her by having all these girls. But, yeah.
Especially Skylar being born on her birthday. So, she'd had some talk, some smack to say on that one. But I think she'd have been happy for him. Now you're in that role. You're in that role. You got all these brothers and you're the only girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does that feel?
It's a lot, especially with me being the oldest.
Uh-huh.
And they're all younger than me, and they're all
looking up to you, huh?
Yeah. They're a lot, though.
I think they're blessed to have you as a sister. And I think that, that your life experience is going to help them a lot, because, it has groomed you, with a certain amount of patience and a certain amount of wisdom and understanding that you can pass on and share with them.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by. Hey, everybody, one of the takeaways is that if you're out there and you're going through something, somebody that's sick or needs some kind of counseling or something, go get them help. Don't just think that because somebody is depressed that they crazy or something like that. No, that's a serious condition, and people specialize in that field, and you need to go get them some help. Same way, if they fell down and broke a leg or something like that, you would go get them some help. So if you know somebody that's an alcoholic or somebody that's on drugs or something, addiction is serious. Go find some help. Don't just think that they can just stop on their own and, what's wrong with them. No, it's not that simple, okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next week on Raise My Queen. If you like it, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys